Two 4-on-1 teams going up. Thank you for waiting with us for the delay. Now, red side is where KC are at. So they're gonna get first pick here, Dagda, because Navi chose second pick, which gets rid of the whole argument that we were talking about before. But Parus is gone. That's at least one thing off the board. Rumble is the only thing we're thinking about. That now gets banned away. First pick worthy. What is it? Is it the Azir for Kyeahoo?
I mean, Azir, the Rise, these kind of things are it. But Azir is just, and Yunara, but also Azir has just become kind of the go-to. But yeah, Yunara going to be first locked in here. And I imagine you'll get the response of the Aphelios, which has kind of just become the go-to, like match the late game scaling with the late game scaling. It's just more of a case of what now do you want to take for Poby? Because I think Poby's best performance so far, I think, has been on the Taliyah. I was really impressed with the way he was able to perform in that. So maybe that's where you want to try and focus that early pick of, you know, a Taliyah buy, but with the Aphelios still up and available, do you just prioritize Taliyah buy and then take the Aphelios on that third pick? But doesn't look like it's going to be the case.
No, so we get Aphelios instead for Sam D. It could be a jungle priority here as well, Dagda. I mean, we see Yunara, we've seen Jarvan's into it as well because she is mobile in her ulti, but other than that, she has a run, go fast button, and that's about it. Let's see if Rhilech wants to go that mark or go towards his bruises that he's been known for.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely prefers when he can, taking some of the more bruisery picks, and he's been very good on the Aatrox, and looks like that's going to be that jungle pick once again for him. More than happy to take that one out.
Because Maynter so far, he's just been a K'Sante top lane, so it is interesting to see if there is flex potential there, but you are right, like it has just mainly been the Aatrox jungle as Ambessa gets locked in. And likewise, the Ambessa has been a mixed bag. We've seen it a lot in jungle as well. Rhilech has actually played it. And that is it for Kyeahoo. This feels like comfort for KC.
Yeah, I will say though, the Ambessa with nothing to really help her on the dive isn't anywhere near as threatening. Like, I much prefer when you've got, say, paired with an Orianna or, you know, a Kai'Sa or something that can try and play it through. But KC's first two picks say to me they want to play much more front to back style. So I'm not really sure I like the Ambessa in this sort of situation, and especially when you start to look towards Unraveled Earths and the ability to try and spread out a fight, which just may leave that Ambessa isolated. But we'll have to see as we move in towards our next round of bans. Still going to be a focus on towards those supports, I imagine, here for Navi. We've seen a lot of like Lulus, Threshes, things that can try and keep the Aphelios safe. And also the ability for a Lulu to come in on the opposite side is still kind of high as well. We'll have to see what that focus is going to be as we start to move on through, though.
Yes. Okay. It's in my own mindset that Dagda apologizes.
No, you're good. And just the Jarvan ban, so it's more focused, basically, Navi saying, hey, we're not convinced that this Ambessa isn't just going to go into that top side. But it has been more about flexing it in towards the jungle in a lot of situations because she can have some bad matchups in that top side.
Very true.
Navi having the second pick, though, will guarantee them essentially knowing where this Ambessa is going. So I imagine they will force pick their support and then figure out where
maybe the Renekton ban shows them a little bit early as well, because Renekton into Ambessa has been seeing a really good matchup. I love your point, though, again. Are they giving safety, or are they trying to lure in the fact that Canna might be playing something that, you know, also that Renekton is good into as well? There's a couple of top lane matchups.
Yeah, I think it's essentially saying, hey, if you end up going for this blind pick K'Sante, we can pop the Ambessa into that top side, she's going to be fine. The Renekton, as you say, also ban enabling the Ambessa, but also something that does take away or try to push you more in towards the K'Sante route if you want to. But this is what I was talking about, right? Navi have the opportunity to just take their support. They immediately take the Nautilus here and just say, right, well, we're going to figure out exactly what your game plan is here for this Ambessa before we commit to anything. And it's going to be, I think, an easier answer for Navi, because you can just fall back to the K'Sante. You have things like the Nara as well there if you want to try and take something that can be a bit more of a lane bully. So we'll have to see what the plan is.
Looking for engage for now. Adding a bit of range would be nice. And there's that Leona again. Busio's pulled this out now a second time. And I feel like last time he was just pulling all the engages out himself. I feel like he was really leading the team. And it'll be nice to see again if he can facilitate just like before.
Yeah, 7 assists at the 14-minute mark. 100% kill participation the last time he ended up playing the Leona at that 14-minute mark. So I'm not surprised to see him try and go for this again. And I do like it. Especially into the matchup, you end up in a situation where you control a lot of the way that the lane is dictated. You can go for the engage, you can, and Nautilus has to try and hook you out of the Zenith blade. but also with the range advantage that you have in Yunara, the ability to actually poke down this Aphelios, at least depending on the guns, makes it a little bit easier as well. So it's going to put Navi on the back foot from the get-go in that bottom lane and open up Busio to link up with Yike. Looks like, though, it will be that Ambessa going to the top side.
Yeah.
And a nice answer here for Maynter, if it is going to be that Poppy.
As Poppy, I'm just going to quickly look and see, because I don't believe we've seen Poppy coming through, especially not in the top lane.
Well, I mean, it works really well, right? Ambessa struggles against champions that are strong in the first few levels. Poppy fits that bill. She wants to be able to dash around. Poppy says, no, you don't get to do that. And then you have this great ultimate for the rest of the fight, because we were already kind of saying, hey, you know, you want to try and play this front to back. Well, you got an Ambessa and a Pantheon, kind of want to dive. And if you can separate either the back and front line, I think you're in a really good spot here as Navi, as it's a very cohesive, you know, play through this Aphelios and enable him in these team fights.
And I think, again, when you look at some of the strengths, like you were talking about Sam D, and you're talking about this bottom lane being probably the best bot lane of week number 1, well, then I feel confident in someone like Sam D, a Sammy D that we saw from V5, playing such a rich late-scaling champion. I also feel confident when I see Rhilech again on this Aatrox, 2-0 so far in the LEC. He is the one who's been handling this so well. Now he's going up back-to-back again. It's Navi versus KC. It is 4-1 versus 4-1. And a lot of people might be favoring KC, but hey, Navi got a bit of fire as well as we go backstage with Dracos.
Thank you very much, Jake. I am here with Zeph. Zeph, there's a question I got to ask you, and it's a very niche one. We introduced right of first selection. KC, the first team to pick a side and not opt to select first pick or second pick. Why is red side so significant for you guys?
It's a good question. Why do you think I did that?
I have no idea, brother. I'm trying to figure out why we introduced that rule. Please enlighten me.
For me, it's just because KC decided we are KC red this split, so I just thought we should match the color. And I just thought it would be a great idea to start today because it's a good week for us.
Look, fair enough. Branding is a valid reason. One last thing for everyone here in Berlin for yourself. Happy birthday, brother. I hope the boys can bring you that birthday win. Congrats on being another year older. We'll send it back to the casters to get us into game.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for that.
Happy birthday to you. I'm not continuing on. I don't have the voice for that.
Well, yeah, and also we didn't give a happy... That is a... Why the hell? That was a paragraph. Sorry, I just got completely sidetracked. I love... We always get these Twitch comments in and YouTube comments in. Shout out to all the people online. But that was a paragraph. I'm not reading that. I'm happy for you. Sad for you, bro. I'm not sure what's going on there. Regardless, we didn't actually sing happy birthday for Vedi, so we have to be fair if you're wondering why we had to stop. Now, we're talking a lot, quite a lot, about Sam D and another Aphelios pick as Busio, just setting up with the heal, getting some good damage down. This is what they do at level 1 these days, as both heals are burnt and both health bars are rejuvenated for the time being. Dagda, where do you want to start? Because Sam D is an Aphelios level 1. Nothing's happening for now.
No, but I mean, you can already kind of see the battle that's happening in this bottom side of the map. And we kind of saw this like evolution in the Nautilus and Leona matchup where you get we started off with Aftershock, being like, hey, well, Leona ends up just, you know, more tanky than Nautilus with the Aftershock. So we can just look for these all-ins and end up beating Nautilus when it comes to the health bar.
Yep.
And then that changed into, actually, I haven't been able as a Leona to chase down the Nautilus enough. So I'm going to swap to a Glacial, what's the word I'm looking for? Glacial, the inspiration tree.
Glacial Augment, no?
Oh yeah, Glacial Augment. So then I can actually have the chase down potential then on the Nautilus after his Aftershock goes, and I'm still tankier thanks to the W on Leona. And now we've kind of gone full circle and back into the double Aftershock.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Then Nautilus took Glacial Augment as well, so then he could slow the Leona, so she couldn't chase him. And now we're back to Aftershock. But it still is a very similar matchup of, hey, if Leona can ever close the gap onto Sam D or Parus, the Leona is just so much more beefy that you're able to kill one of the other ones. And especially, as we said, like, when you're able to play around this Yunara's range, the fact that she also has, like, her Q up and available, that's where you can really start to punish. But it does become a little bit more skeptical as if somebody has those red-white guns available.
I think people kind of forget that it's like that 8 flat damage reduction, and then 20 armor, 20 MR. That's the bonus that you get. Like level 1. That's crazy when you think about League of Legends. Like, adding those bonus stats is kind of wild. So I feel like it's always a talking point when Leona gets seen as well. Just making her, unable to die early on.
It's also like, because things like bone plating only affect when whoever hits you first.
Yeah.
Their next 3 points of damage will be reduced. oftentimes it's Leona who's going for the engage, which means that she's generally able to be the one that absorbs the bone plating, but it's the enemy AD carry that actually starts the initial trade-off, unless you can interrupt the hook. So the bone plating value tends to favor in a lot of Leona situations as well. So there's just a loss where but it's like the way you interrupt this is Parus basically doing now, which is stand on your AD carry and just continue to hook or punish if the Zenith blade isn't done.
We've got a lot of bot side focus, as you know, but I talked about Rhilech at the very start. And just a quick side note, I mean, this guy ain't kidding around. Dagda, I know you've been looking at his Twitter, and he did exactly what he said. Top lane champs in jungle. He loves it.
I mean, he said it on the show as well, just that top lane champs OP, so if I can take them into the jungle, why not take them into the jungle? And he's been looking damn good because of it. Like, he has the Canna game obviously in there, but the Aatrox, the Ambessa, they have been looking pretty good for him.
He hasn't played, quote-unquote, traditional jungle champs yet. So, power to him. He'll keep on doing what he loves for now. He's going up against Yike, who is on something more traditional, I guess, now. On the Pantheon, we're waiting for that level 6, waiting for the roam that often comes through, where he just lands in your lane. But for now, speaking of lanes, nothing interesting is happening. Nothing really big is happening here in this game. CS is pretty even across the board, outside of Kyeahoo having a small lead over Poby. It's nice to see Kyeahoo and Poby, going up against each other, and especially players that tried to bridge the gap into LCK so much. And we're in that middling state for quite a while. I mean, Poby, for a bigger reason, I feel like sitting behind Faker is always hard, but Kyeahoo was that substitution that came through, fighting with Yike for a bit and then eventually having his split, but not really standing out. This is a really big split for both of them as well. That's just me, Dagda. That's just how I feel about mid laners.
I think they're probably pretty happy with your
They should be. I mean, I think they're both be great. I feel like we've got a lot of good mids this split. Like the talent pool is kind of nuts. Pause on that. Rhilech just found Yike, waiting in brush there with no wards from Navi. That's why he walked in blind. Control ward down. This Busio as well, but Parus has come out as well. Seismic Shove will change everything here. Gets onto Yike as Busio falls to flat from Poby. Dredge line in, we're fighting 3v3, but the AoE is nuts and insane. Who's pretty low though, and it's not working out well for KC. Navi got their AoE galore, and I think Poby contributed to that as well.
Yeah, there was a huge amount of damage that ended up coming through. As you say, KC stacking up and trying to hard force. I feel like with Busio, maybe it was more of a defensive flash. I'll have to rewatch and, well, we're not going to get a replay. There's no kill, but still, you're pushing back against KC. And this is kind of what we got to see more of from KC over the course of the last couple of days, is that link between Yike and Busio starting to play around mid lane, but Navi responding well. And it's Parus again who's stepping up, and this is a guy that definitely got a lot of shellacking, I'll say, last year.
He did.
Got a lot of flack, and I think he's stepped up really well here over the last couple of days and found kind of a new home, it feels like, on Navi, and really showing why he was such a high prospect coming up from EMEA Masters.
That's why this team's been hyped up so much as well. It did feel like, well, the weak links could be Maynter, or it could be Rhilech, or it could be Parus. I mean, anyone really. You look at the names and you're like, how are they going to work in LEC? But so far, everyone's been working like a well-oiled clock. I don't really know clockwork. Well-oiled machine.
Do you oil your clock?
I don't know. I think you have to. The gears, right? They got gears.
Yeah, but
You got to oil them, no? That's
I don't know.
I'm not talking about the cheap ones on the wall you get from Kmart.
I was also going to say, like, majority of clocks are just kind of digital.
Okay, well, old grandfather clocks. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, I cast video games. Do you think I know about clocks? I don't even know. You know, the hardest thing for me recently has been I can't even nail a screw into, like, nail a screw. That's where I went wrong. I can't even screw a screw into the wall for a curtain rod. I felt so defeated the other day. And
did you put it into the right?
I did. I did everything right. The problem was the wall. I needed a hammer drill. That's what the guy who fixed it told me. I don't know what a hammer drill is. I just know a drill. Drill's a drill.
Well, you're supposed to screw a screw, so why would you have to hammer it?
Well, because it's into it's into concrete. Not a concrete wall. It was into like a, like a type of fiber wall or something. I don't know what the wall's made of here in Berlin. Like in Australia, you just screw it in, boom, done.
Yeah. Well, they are thick here. They got to survive whatever the hell is going on outside at the moment. So.
Where at home, you just have walls for mosquitoes. That's it, and snakes and spiders. All that. That's all you need them for. You don't need it for cold. It doesn't get cold enough there, so that's probably why. Look, I'm not going to use this therapy session anymore. Nothing's happening in the early game. That's why I thought I could get away with it. Dragon's been taken by Navi. Grubs are up now. I can see on the minimap that, look, Navi do have a bit of prior and got the push out top, so...
I think we're diving bot, though.
Yeah, in the meantime, because Grubs are just being forfeited, so KC needs something.
Yeah, but there's not really anything to get. Wave cleared out underneath tower. They're now setting up for Caliste to try and push through again, and you kind of lost your window here. I feel like Yike at least will be able to get scuttled, which might keep around to the bottom side a little bit longer. But yeah, Rhilech, Dragon, and now the 3 grubs secured. And us just hovering mid to make sure the Poby is safe, because there's a huge amount of activity from KC in that vicinity.
Busio's going to try his hand. Soulflow's not up and available, so it does mean that Busio just doesn't have that range. If he can leech off of mid a little bit here, as he's now going to be spotted out by Parus, who walked up mid himself, seismic shove, avoided with the shifting sands. Rhilech also on the wing of that left side brush, and he'll back off as well just to go farm it up. Jungler's separating a little bit in CS. Rhilech is climbing ahead ever so slowly, but Kyeahoo ultimately in mid is actually doing pretty well. Okay, let's do this. Caliste versus Sam D, 80 carry versus 80 carry, but I think Caliste is losing. Range is there, and he's only just alive. Sam D said bet. He just stood his ground.
Yeah, Busio, I think, was hoping to get there a little bit quicker with Caliste, but Sam D knows his damage, happy to take the fight. The white gun doing a lot of work there as well, alongside the Calibrum.
And the wave got pushed in. Plates for the taking. Huge win here for Navi in the bot side as Maynter doing a little bit of damage onto Canna himself. That steadfast presence, a nuisance with the Drakehound step from Ambessa. So Canna can't really do much in the face of this Poppy.
Still going to be giving a lot of confidence to Navi. I mean, it's a slow-paced early game, but you've got a 400 gold lead in that bottom side. Maynter is holding on fine against Canna in the top lane. And again, I think as this game starts to go on, it's an easier execution, I feel like, for Navi. I think KC have to kind of find Canna Yike picks to start off a fight and hope that then that can carry them through in the rest of it. But if you're standing like face to face, Maynter having those ultimates away, Parus with that point and click CC, I think a lot of members of KC die very quickly to Sam D if he's allowed to continue to farm up the way he has been.
And you know, last game you were talking about caps with Orianna and how there was a lot of zone control with the Varus as well. I feel like for this game, there's similarities in the sense of you have Taliyah, you have Poppy, Aatrox as well. There's a lot of AoE devastation. And if KC decide, oh, I'm going to walk and face check this part of the jungle, there's instant burst, there's a very hard way to get out thanks to the zone of pebbles like this.
Yeah, but it's also like Leona dashes in over pebbles. Ambessa dashes in over pebbles. Hell, Pantheon stun will also stun him as he goes over pebbles, right?
Right.
And that's not even including like the steadfast presence and that kind of stuff, and even the ability for Aatrox to kind of keep people at bay. So I think this is where, for KC, like if I was traditionally looking at this draft and I was looking at that top side, I would have preferred something like Kai'Sa on the bottom side, because then we've got the long range engage with the Leona. We can then follow up that with Canna and Yike and Kai'Sa, which can then separate the fight and make it really uncomfortable for Sandy.
Parus, though, meanwhile, does a face check. That's not so good. Weaver's Wall coming out, but Parus is just dead. First blood over to KC. A good flick back, but it's mitigated by Busio getting his Zenith Blade in. Meanwhile, Rhilech goes into the World Ender, but he's got no one to help end his world. Kyeahoo rumps in, and I think Sam D and Poby know they need to get out there, but I don't know how they're going to do it. As Flash Away is the start. Moonlight Vigil misses with Severum, so no heal as Poby flashes as well. And a big mistake from Navi that KC were waiting to catch.
Nice catch from KC. The fact that they control that fight, they end up getting 2 kills off the back of this, and even have the roam down from mid to make sure that it's secured is perfect. Parus trying to get that vision down. Yike in the jungle. Parus just isn't that tanky as the Nautilus. They end up picking off one, but it's the roam from Kyeahoo that ends up really securing this. Like, Rhilech gets the ultimate off, but at this stage, he's just not returning any damage, doesn't get the healing, and it's Navi having to run for the hills to hope they can escape.
Poby can't do too much. If he got the flick, maybe he stops the play, but a lot burnt there from Navi. No flash on Sam D, no flash on Poby. And what was a pretty comfortable game has now bloomed into a 1k gold lead for KC. And both kills going over to Yike. So when we're talking about this Pantheon now getting active on the map, it's going to be in a much more deadly way.
Yeah, I think that's where KC will try and put a lot of that pressure is Yike ultimates towards people like Canna in the hopes that maybe you can try and take down a kill, especially if it's like Poby or someone in the side lane. It's Rift Herald, though, that I think it's really going to feel the pain, because Navi just won't really have the power that they want to try and fight against that. And if KC then starts to knock down turrets, playing around this kind of like 1-2 punch and Canna and Yike becomes a little bit more active.
So I feel like Navi might just back away. They lost the Dragon because of the last play as well. I just love because of refillable potion. It looks like Poby has 1,228 stacks on his tier. He's broken the game. After that last play, a little bit of crying is absolutely okay. NAVI need to recover. Seismic shove there, but Zenith Blade comes in after the Solar Flare, but Rhilech just waiting on the wing, so Busio, a step too far. He flashes away, but the Dredge Line, beautiful! Set up with the Emperor Survivor, Kyeahoo, as he kites away. He's still ain't out of dodge. Seismic shove works again, but Rhilech with the flash, cleave down! Here comes the next one! A double with the blade in hand. It's Yike up next! The mountain that cannot be climbed is Rhilech on this Demon King!
Rhilech's Aatrox is too clean! The LEC is feeling it here as once again he turns that play in the bottom side with a huge flash performance.
Incredible, 3 kills in a row to recover NAVI back in this game. We'll look again because this was turning sour after Kyeahoo started outplaying the fight.
And I like the read here from NAVI to go, okay, they want to try and play aggressive on the bottom side. But here I started to get worried. It didn't look like they had enough damage. And you can see Kyeahoo was able to escape away, but Rhilech timing this perfectly with Poby having that flick back as well. So he buys the space for Rhilech, and then that healing coming through thanks to the roll ender is enough to keep him topped up. It was close.
I own them by the...
Holy, that's the confidence we want to see. Yeah, he's confident there, he's feeling good, but
Stone cold.
he's a bit stone cold. I think a little bit nervous after the earlier play. The game's not over yet. He really feels like it's only begun, and you know, NAVI, an impressive organization in terms of their history. But in League, it feels so fresh here as they're trying to do what they can against KC. And what I mean is KC's a mighty organization in their own right. There we go, public execution onto Poby. He stepped too far and Canna punishes. Hot damn! That was clean by the top laner.
Yeah, just reading that, there was nothing left in the tank for Poby to keep him safe. And Parus wasn't able to keep him in, or stay in position there to hold out. And now KC, they want to respond to the bot as well.
Onto Maynter, the ulti misses, it's a whiff. Solar Flare comes down and he's just getting hit by Kyeahoo against the wall. A beautiful ulti in the end and Kyeahoo takes down Maynter. Yike, might be a trade, but no, not enough damage from the turret. And KC get even more.
Nice jobs by KC. Canna with the solo turnaround at the top side and just a nice dive on that bottom lane as well. It's a huge trade for KC for the Rift Child taken by NAVI.
Let's see though, is Canna in trouble here? Rhilech pulls out the World Ender and maybe the answer is yes, but Canna has that Drakehound step out of the Infernal Chains. He gets out with that sledge and that's good for now. Again, how do you follow Ambessa when she has a million dashes?
And so much shielding as well coming off of that W.
Oh.
But wait a sec.
Yike's coming in. He's got his ult in 3 seconds. Might not even need it. Canna flashes in. And this Korean top laner is pulling KC on his back again. 2 straight kills here. And Canna's bringing the game back in his own right.
Canna's just saying send more. Send all you got, Navi. Karmine Corp looking clean off the back of
Zambi in trouble as well. Caliste just takes him. That's a solo kill. KC are erupting.
Hysterics, what's happening?
I don't know, they're just getting angry.
They're picking off everyone. Navi just feeding themselves into a blender, it feels like, as KC happy to chug down the protein and only get stronger.
The fans heard us talking smack. They said, you're talking up NAVI too much. And the players just switched. I mean, the play bot from the solo kill top you talked about from what Canna just did on our screens. 1,500 gold, by the way, for him. He just picked up a black cleaver. So, I mean, yeah, Maynter is going to be able to press Steadfast Presence, but the cooldown for that versus all of this business. Oh my God. Canna's doing some real damage, and I'm now very scared to play the game as Sam D.
Yeah, this lane just got very, very difficult as Maynter. So Canna, I mean, this is kind of what we're talking about. Like, if you can guess the assassination potential up for Yike and Canna, the fights become a little bit easier because you assassinate Sam D and there's only kind of Rhilech to deal that consistent DPS. So KC, looking a little doubtful at the beginning, but coming alive at this 15 to 20 minute mark.
They definitely are. It's been, I mean, a bit topsy-turvy in the early game, back and forth, but there's been some real mechanical plays. Sam D is going to open up the turret up with the Ritual Charge coming in afterwards as well. But even with his hit on plating, it wasn't enough as the engage pulls in Poby with the 2-man flick back in. Yike almost dead, but the depth charge he flushes away from and survives. Now Sam D, even with the crescendum, is in a lot of trouble. Canna, his ulti there. Poby survives thanks to the shove back on Busio. If Canna hit that, I feel like Navi were kaput.
That would have been an absolute disaster because they were the ones starting off the play. Navi wanted to take that fight in the hopes that they could turn it with the numbers advantage. but just not enough damage. And it's Parus that falls. Canna with the roam from top when Maynter was in base. KC just keep coming out on top of things.
And as we said, playoffs is not confirmed, right? We have no number yet, but like 4 felt like the baseline. 5 feels like almost a guarantee, and 6 is obviously probably going to be, you know, you're in there somewhere, right? Especially when you play 11 best of ones. If you get more than the majority, when 8 of them make it through, I would say right now, 6 is the magic number. 5 definitely feels comfortable to end your week 2.
I mean, it's also because, you know, KC beat G2 yesterday.
Yep.
They've already faced off against MKOI.
They have.
So, like, their relative schedule, by comparison, looks good. If you are considering, like, you know, G2, MKOI, and KC still as top dogs, right? So, I think for KC, a win here over NAVI, going to look good, but Busio.
Oh, he's caught out. Hang on, maybe an opportunity for NAVI. Solar Flare buys some time, though, and the sky will fall once again, but Yike running into the Aatrox. We're going to question. No, it doesn't matter, because stuns galore before Rhilech can heal up. He has been one too many times in the middle of too many members.
Yeah. Busio has put some sort of dark magic onto towards Parus, because every time I think Busio is going to die, somehow Parus does. And I don't understand what he has done, but it is rather impressive that Busio keeps making it out. But, you know, sometimes just Leona thinks with how tanky that champion can be.
Oh, yeah, who's sitting in side lanes. Canna is doing this still. There's still only 2 items, but even though Maynter has the Fimbulwinter stacking up, we're just kind of not there yet for the Poby to survive the onslaught that is this Ambessa. 1,500 for top, 1,500 for mid, 1,500 for bot. KC with a 5k gold lead, 2 dragons, and we have to kind of seriously consider, Dagda, how NAVI get back in this game, because you wanted to see KC use their pick potential. Well, from 15 minutes onwards, if my timing is correct, they definitely used it. And it's Busio's Leona again. That's just always involved, always starting these fights. Got to give credit to this guy. I mean, he's starting to really simulate with his engaged champions.
Yeah, and I think as well, the fact that you can go for bundle pipes in the Leona just works so well with so many of the AD carries that we have. Like Yunara wanting that extra attack speed works out great. The kit for Leona, the fact that you get the movement speed, allows you to chase down and look for some of those stuns as well with the auto attack. So all in all, pretty happy with the way things are going. And the pick play looks like it's going to continue as Busio controlling this top side.
Solar Flare again. Onto Poby. Denethblade is there. Kyeahoo. The old DRX mid lane trying to poke out the T1 underling as Busio flashes away. Maybe too deep this time around. Teleport from Maynter. This is turning into a full-on fight. The shove back keeps Busio in play. Steadfast presence doesn't make him go away. It's a kill, but to who? Over to Poby for NAVI. As Baron is a consideration, but is it able to be done?
I think that's what they're trying to spot out, because I was going to say Canna began the reset, but is actually going to stick around on this bottom side. And NAVI not feeling comfortable to try and start up that Baron while it's there, so they don't get that that pull of the KC top laner up towards that top half of the map. So it's a nice pick from NAVI, but they still have to go back and defend.
With no TP for Maynter as well, it does feel like there is some more versatility here for KC. So worth noting here that kill in the long run could actually hurt NAVI. Teleport being used in Skyfall as well. Great timing from Poby, but Kyeahoo's right up against the wall with him. Takes him to a brisk end. Here comes Rhilech, but it's a bait. Canna over the wall as Kyeahoo's ulti is a little bit late. Rhilech does get out with the flash, but again, look at what is just opened up for KC to take more gold.
If you don't succeed, try again. They get it on the second attempt, and now it's KC who feel comfortable enough to start up the Baron. The TP from Kyeahoo in. KC are blowing open this game.
They need this Azir in quick though. It's 20 seconds till Poby, but you're right, KC feel confident. The rest of NAVI are like, can we even get near in time? They've got an idea, pings are coming down, but they're going to prioritize the Dragon start here, and Baron will safely go into the hands of KC.
Yeah, I'm sure you can take Dragon Plus.
Quick, right?
It will be quick, but you're going to lose a ton of pressure on this mid wave. I'm not sure if you don't just lose the mid tower as well. I'm not sure how the crystalline fractures are looking at the moment, but KC, don't overextend. You got the reset coming through. Maynter actually might have overextended himself.
Drag the wave over. It's only an overextension if he gets caught. Solar Flare dodge away from him. Presses that W nice and early. Flashes away, and Busio sent packing, but a flash and now a Poppy ulti down. Maynter used a lot to drag that wave to stop it pushing in onto the inner.
Yeah, now you got the Azir turret that's pushing in and keeping that mid control. Canna takes that top lane tower while all this is happening. Parus wasn't sure if he was thinking about trying to go for the Hex Smash over the wall, but KC just going to back away. Happy that they got that Baron, and Sure, it's a second dragon and Navi, but it's not really anything too major.
See what is major though. Canna has gone from 1,500 to 2.5k. So that's still growing. 265 CS at 23 minutes is somehow ungodly.
It's the rest of the 1Ks underneath that are more concerning.
I mean, that is more concerning, but like, you know, we talked up Canna when he came into the league, and what he did in the top lane was also ungodly. Like, he had some insane laning phases as Skyfall once again. Busio there to help out onto Maynter. The stun comes up, but where's the damage for now? A little bit deep from KC as the sidestep from Yike was beautiful from Poby's seismic shove. So KC continue the onslaught. Minion wave cleared out though, and two plates still holding this turret together. But look at Canna. Canna's just in another lane by himself grabbing the money.
Navi keep overloading this bottom side, and they're just throwing too many men at the problem. Means that, as you say, Canna's able to open up on mid. This is just a repeat of what they did to get the top tier 2. Navi, you have to pull the trigger or you're just going to keep losing more and more.
Parus needs to flash, find a hook, do something, start the fight now. Mid is gone, in and down. Canna's going to get the next wave pushed in as well, draw attention, and then Dagda with this Baron, the pull and throw that's going to happen is going to open up inner bot as well.
That's what I was going to say. The fact that you have that control over mid means you can push here, force the defense, and then immediately wrap in behind with Canna, which makes it really difficult.
Top is also a wave setup. Canna can just transition there. KC are doing the do-si-do over Navi. They're schooling him right now as Busio kites away, but Navi, 5 members in bot, continue here. Canna now joins on in. Public execution not even needed to be used. Back to the mid wave he goes. Top eventually will push out so Canna can transition. Mid-inhib turrets at half HP. Navi, you have to do something. The Soul Flare comes through and it's a nice engage, a depth charge as well. They will find Busio, but Parus almost dies in the process. Kyeahoo stands his ground and delivers with a couple of soldiers. Sam D, Parus both sent away. And Baron 10 seconds left to go, so Casey disappeared, but it was still so much pressure applied to open the map.
But they did what they had to do. Parus finally gets that hook onto Busio, gets the kill, and prevents, at least for the moment, that bot lane tower going down. I am not going to be surprised if that falls within the next minute and a half or so, though, because with 2 minutes until Dragon, KC can easily put pressure on that bottom lane and then look to fall back into that Dragon. But still, you can see KC working very well with that pressure from Baron and Navi, looking a little stumped with the way they're moving on the map at the moment.
Oh, indeed. 3.2k, by the way, between top Spirit Shojin and a GA on the way. So Canna's pressing upon 4 items on this Ambessa and putting a pretty good case forward for player of the game. I mean, I feel like also, I mean, Yahoo's, they've all been great. Busio's been great as well. I don't know. Is this just one of those games where you're like, you're very proud of the performance from the team, but the
Thanks,
way
coach.
no worries.
I didn't realize we were getting the
motivational coach, by the way.
the talk in the locker room afterwards, being like, you know what, good job out there.
You know, maybe one day if I leave casting, I'll go and be a motivational coach for something. I wouldn't do the strategic part because I've done that before in OCE. My team made playoffs though.
Okay.
I was assistant coach. My team made playoffs. I did tell them to stop. What did I say?
Stop inting.
No, I said that once. No, I didn't say that. That wouldn't send them out. I used to work on their healthcare plans, and they slept better because of me. My jungler, shout out to Brown, my jungler got to rank 3 or something with me behind him. Now, he was going there anyway.
So he did the work, and you were just like...
I was part of it.
I
was part of it. You know, I leached onto it. The coaches out there, we don't know who's good and who's bad, but you're all doing great. Okay, 8,000 gold. Look, this game feels like it's in the bin a little bit. For Navi, it's not over till it's over. Lost Returners showed earlier today that exact point. We've seen so many games that have come back out of nowhere. But this one, how do you deal with Canna? Maynter has the ulti, but it's buffered! This XT1 talent is unbelievably clean.
Maynter didn't stand a chance, tries to hold on to the tower, but this Poppy just does not have the damage anymore. With no top laner, that's Dragon gone. With 45 seconds till Baron, it may just be another objective that KC get to set up and take as well.
So you're going to move to Soul Point. Almost 9,000 gold. Navi, we talked a little bit about their scaling, and even though Sam D is 3 items, Caliste is just about to be 4 with the Infinity Edge, soon to be in hand. Rabadon's from Kyeahoo with the Nashes, plus GA on Yike, soon to be GA on Canna. I think Canna's backing away. He might actually have it now. Let's just pause because if this guy has GA, like, how do you ever win a team fight? Oh, it's Death Dance instead, which, I mean, common Ambessa item, but still, the delayed damage. I don't know how you kill this guy either.
I think at this stage, NAVI are kind of hoping for a miracle, and I feel like that has to come off the back of Maynter with a huge ultimate. Again, like, if you can find a way to knock away Yike and Canna, maybe you can tear through Kyeahoo and Caliste fast enough, but it's a tall order, and NAVI are going to have to find it here.
Parus might just have to find a hook. Maynter's ult gets out. Busio's sent away, but not very far. He's scared of channeling it because he'll get stunned up with the Shield of Daybreak or a Zenith Blade. And then the ulti just stops. Canna comes in off the wing as well, and now NAVI don't have the disengage tool. They're an ulti down, running into already hard fight.
And now it's Sharks in the water as Sam D
Canna,
in a position.
Angle. Oh, Sam D flashes away, gets Maynter instead, but still in the middle. I asked the question, how do you kill this guy? Canna running for his life, he's done his job already. Kept NAVI at the fray as KC run down mid lane. Now, look at the ult usage. It was Yike, it was the top lane in Canna. But I still see 2 up and available that are big.
But this is what I was talking about. In the front to back, NAVI can still take those fights. They don't get on towards Sam D. So that damage dealer still up and available, but health bars still looking good for KC. TP coming through from both top laners. KC want to try and find a pick here. They don't want to take the 5v5.
And look at Canna, his angle yet again. He doesn't have that ulti, but he can do a lot of damage in the fight. Rhilech now spots him out. Baron's going down. Yike's a little bit low, but he's got his GA. Canna at full HP at level 19. He's running into this fight, ready to go. Maynter at level 16 finds a flash and no wall there onto Kyeahoo. So he's just getting waddled away by the Azir while Baron's going down. No steal. Rhilech comes for an angle, but he was so close. Ain't no cigar. NAVI have to run in. They had no option in the end as another ulti hit. And Canna seals the deal with a triple added on top.
KC were playing for the ults to come back up. And in one fell swoop, they take down NAVI, and they will take this game.
With some very clean play, some beautiful comeback mechanics through individual members. This top laner on Ambessa was a chef's kiss. And KC setting up bot on the other side of the map. It was like a domino effect as KC continues to be in the blue common. No red here as they move to 5-1 at the top of our standings. It's Karmine Corp.
Side selection OP.
OP.
KC figured it out. They knew what they were doing. And apparently playing from that side of the map means that you just get upgraded hands to beat the entire enemy team.
True.